So many of you may know that Kanye West is running for president, and he is running under the quote-unquote birthday party, which I thought that was hilarious. Hell, I may vote this year for the first time in years. I may vote just for shits and giggles. I mean, he's not going to win. He's already passed up deadlines, and they said he can't qualify in certain states. But he's still doing this. They're still letting him run. So I doubt he could win. It would be very, very interesting to see if he did, though. So these tweets, he tweeted them out, and they're now deleted, but it was after his rally in South Carolina at the end of last week where he said some things. He got emotional. He speaks the truth a little bit too much, some would say, and that's their problem with him. They can't control him in the same way they can most people in the spotlight. So he just they label him as crazy. They label him as bipolar, and they use that as like this sort of catch-all for anything he does. I'll just let you listen to what he said, and we'll go over this.
Please don't tell me that gay Kim Kardashian name. That's going to be the worst thing. And she said, I'm pregnant. I said, yes. I said, no. No, I'm going to tell you what was in my mind. She was crying. She said, I just came from the doctor. I was like, oh my God, what's in that thing? Because I was having the rapper's lifestyle. So she said she was pregnant, and for 1 month and 2 months and 3 months, we talked about her not having this child. She had the pills in her hand. People know these pills where you take the pills, and if you take it, it's a wrap. The baby's gone. And I have my laptop up, and I got all of my creative ideas. I got my shoes, I got my next album cover, I got communities, I got clothes, I got all this. And the screen went black and white. And God said, if you f my vision, I'm gonna f yours. And I called my wife, and she said, we're gonna have this baby. I said, we're gonna have this child. My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
Okay, so he was talking about abortion. He was talking about their first child, North, when Kim got pregnant. I guess they hadn't been together very long. They were both very busy, and they were thinking about abortion for a few months. And he got emotional thinking about this and talking about it, and he realized his dad almost did to him what he almost did to his child. His dad who abandoned him, who was too busy for him, he almost became that, and it made him emotional because he's human and he has compassion and a good heart, and he could have ended it right there, and that would have been perfectly fine. But he proceeds, he always has to go over the top.
My stance is not to make abortion illegal at all. It should always be legal, but there should be an option of maximum increase for having a child. Maximum increase would be million or something in that.
Okay, and so here he proposes that to incentivize, these women to have their baby, which they would, I'm sure, if they were given money, especially $1 million. Obviously, that's not sustainable, but I think he sort of just goes off the cuff. He's thinking of ideas as he's speaking. And he immediately, draws back, and he understands that's a little bit over the top. So I don't think he's crazy. I think he just speaks his mind. He has this sort of, he's too real. He just, he's honest. He's a real person. He is not fake in this world that we are surrounded by so many fake people that you look insane. You look crazy when you're this honest and you're this real. And can we also note that back there when he was talking about calling his wife, or calling Kim and telling her not to have an abortion, he basically had a sign from God. I guess they would say that's crazy too, though. I guess they would say he imagined it, or he had a quote unquote episode, because that's what they keep saying. They are repeating this, and I'll show you at the end of this video. Even Kim is doing this, gaslighting him repeatedly and calling these things, anytime he acts out, basically it's an episode. He's having an episode, and our family is going through so much, we're just trying to get through this. He's had another episode. He needs, he won't take our help. We're trying to get doctors to him. So let's be clear here. Society has deemed this person crazy because he speaks in ways that they don't understand, I suppose. He seems functional. He's going about his life. He seems happy. Basically, let's look at this. Break it down. It is just because he says things. He gets emotional. He speaks with such honesty that most people cannot even fathom why or how he does this. And he speaks in ways that he probably could provide a little more context. And that's another thing. There's so much that I can't even show here from this rally, and so many things that the media aren't showing. They're showing little clips, such as the thing he said about Harriet Tubman not really freeing the slaves, and then they just show you this, and you hear people in the audience, I'm out. That's the problem. This is the problem. People, they can't even, they're too narrow-minded to even care where he's going with this, or what he means, or what he's saying. They can't even fathom it. What he was saying is, look around you. He's basically agreeing with every SJW that are speaking up right now and saying that we are living under a white supremacy. That's what he was saying. He was saying Harriet Tubman, whether she knew it or not, she brought the slaves into the hands of just different white folks that were going to enslave them in a different sort of way, mentally. And that's the white supremacy, right? Which, by the way, since I'm on this topic, let's move on to Nick Cannon. Let's talk about that, because he said some stuff recently, and I hope people are aware of all that, because I don't want to have to play the clips and whatnot. I'll link them. But he basically was talking about how white people, we don't have the compassion because melanin comes with compassion and we're lesser than. And then he said some stuff about Jews, which was what really got him in trouble, the stuff about the Jewish community. And that caused him to lose his job. He ended up profusely apologizing on Twitter and even sounding very suicidal. Like he can't take, this whole community really just coming down on him like this. And everyone, and I guess that's because on all sides people are mad at him. It's not just, one community this time, it's several. And to that I would say, what was so terrible about what he said? I still like Nick Cannon. I don't think he's I didn't feel like animosity the way he was talking. I didn't feel that from him. Doesn't mean I agree with him. Doesn't mean I, condone what he's saying. But that's the way he thinks. That's one man. You're not going to change anything by demanding people can't say this or that. And they need to think like this or that. they're going to think how the hell they want to. Yeah, sure, that will be shaped by society and by, what society deems you should be doing and saying, which is like the hugest influence on people, apparently, the herd. But I didn't feel the animosity coming from him. I don't understand what the problem is with people speaking about what they believe. I don't feel the animosity. I didn't feel it the way I feel it when, an SJW speaks about how you can tell they hate white people. They hate white people. They want to see vengeance. They want to see them put on their knees, us, whatever. So yeah, from Nick, I just got this feeling that he has a lot of pride in his people, his color, and I guess it's sort of the same way I look at a lot of the alt-right. I don't see them as like hating other people. They just, for whatever reason, they have these feelings, and I can't really relate very well, but you do you,
Very hopeful moment that you guys had to experience for 4 years when I wore the Trump hat for 4 years. I want to explain to you that Democrats ain't get shit for blacks. And the most racist thing that's ever been said out loud is the idea that if Kanye West runs for president, I'm gonna split the black votes. We are all God's people. There's no bad people. There are lost people. But we are all God's people. There's no left, right. Freedom does not come from an election. The freedom comes from you not loading up pornography. The freedom comes from you not taking the Percocet. The freedom comes from you not downing your brother and your sister. The freedom comes from you putting that gun down and not shooting people at the gas station. It has nothing to do with this election. It only has to do with God and God's people.
So much truth there. So much truth. And this is what he was saying about Harriet Tubman, because it's basically the minds of people that have been enslaved, and we're basically handicapped. This is not isolated to black people. This is all people that are struggling in America, in whatever country where you're, these first world countries where we can't seem to get ahead, even though we have all of the resources around us. So when you see these families that are like this, there's trauma, there's mental struggles going on, and you break through that by having strong families, by having conservative views in a lot of ways. And it comes, the Democratic Party, it's like they have good intentions a lot of the time, and I sometimes agree with the things they want to do, because it's like immediate help, but they're not getting to the root of the problems. And that's all he's saying. We got to unlock the minds of the people and help them understand that they have to help themselves. That is the only way. That you have Democrats coming in or really anyone on the left that is tiptoeing around, people's feelings, and like, oh, we can't say this, or we have to pretend this or that, and we have to sort of treat this whole group of people as if they're like handicapped. That's what they're, it's like, who are the real racists? You're treating black people like they're mentally retarded, like they cannot take any sort of criticisms, any sort of truth, like they're not adults, like they're little babies, little babies that you're afraid of, not just little babies, but like little Chucky dolls that you're like terrified they're going to throw a tantrum and fucking kill you if you say anything that they don't like. That's how they're treating. They're not being honest. They're not treating them like they're real people. It's sick. It really is. It's insulting. And it should, if I were black, I would be highly, highly offended.
43-year-old rapper called out his wife and mother-in-law in a series of tweets on Monday night, writing, "Chris, don't play with me. You and that Kanye are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up." Kanye is seemingly a reference to Kris Jenner's longtime beau, Corey Gamble. Kanye, whose oldest child with Kim is 7-year-old daughter North, continued, tweeting, "Put my life the line so North's mother would never sell her sex rape." Another tweet read, "I put my life on my God that North's mom would never photograph her doing Playboy, and that's on God." Kanye also shared that he was at the family's ranch in Wyoming, adding, "Come and get me," before requesting that Kris and Kim call me now. Meanwhile, a source tells ET that Kim has been trying to get Kanye help for his recent episode, but he's refused it. Quote, "Kim has always been public about everything in her life, but with Kanye and him being bipolar, she has always respected to keep that more private and within the family." The source adds that Kim is completely devastated that Kanye is tweeting about the family and painting her as trying to lock him up, adding that she only ever wants the best for her husband.
Offering education and insight about bipolar disorder, and I'm so disturbed by what I'm seeing. Personal opinions about someone aside, a manic episode isn't a joke. If you can't offer understanding or sympathy, offer your silence. Sincerely, human being with a decade-long bipolar diagnosis.
Yeah, and Lakeith Stanfield, who starred in the film Get Out, took a photo of the tweet referencing the movie and posted it on his Instagram, writing, "Well, damn," and then added, "In all seriousness, though, I hope Kanye gets help as he requires. It's actually not funny if he's spiraling."
Yeah, and
So there you have it. That's just, I wanted to give you an idea of the way the public, the way everyone, including Kim, is treating this. Like he had another episode. Anytime he acts out, anytime he says some shit and pops off in ways that we don't like, we will just call it an episode. And then, she came up with this statement about the family and like, please give us privacy, and bipolar disorder is so hard, and his mommy died, and he's a black man too. Remember his skin color? Like, what? Who was writing this shit for you, Kim? And by the way, it is hilarious that he calls Chris's husband Kanye. I love that. Way to go, Kanye. But in all seriousness, she has the right as a wife to be a little bit upset over, him speaking out in ways that he didn't go over with her, or, talking about things like this. But she knows him. This is her husband. She knows this is normal for him. That he doesn't need to go and be locked up. He's just speaking out. He does this sometimes, right? She knows this. So quit lying, Kim. Quit acting like he's crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean in the sense like, not, oh, he's so crazy. Him acting out again, like you have your group of friends, and that one person's always popping off. They're always saying something they're not supposed to. They're so crazy, but you don't mean they need to be locked up because of this. So I'll tell you why she's doing this, because she is more loyal to this family, this business, this industry, and their whole, perception, the way they want to be viewed and all that. She's more loyal to that than she is to her own husband. And I wouldn't be surprised if this whole family, they're like witches, because what did this tweet say? The movie Get Out was about him. Has anyone seen that movie? Well, first off, I'm kind of joking about the witch thing, but this is like the black magic, or, just darkness, that magic in general is sort of commonplace. And Hollywood, and actually it was named after the Hollywood tree, and that's what they used to cast spells, the piece of wood. Anyway, it has a whole backstory that I can't get into here, but it's commonplace, just like pedophilia, just like, traumatizing these children. That's why they grow up and they're either gay, trans, or just committing suicide left and right, or just totally screwed up on drugs and just can't get right. It's so commonplace in Hollywood because the culture and, the way these children are raised and the way they value this public perception and this, this fakery. It's a facade. I guess you could call it witchcraft. They are literally shaping the minds of the masses. They're shaping the social norms, the way people think, the way people act, the way people dress, the way people talk. They are shaping all of this. You could call that magic, right? So, yeah, get out. The mother, they have this sort of sunken place. They would keep control of them, put them in a chair, make them, if they wanted him to stop smoking, they could do that. So they would basically take this boy, the black boy that she would date, and it was a white family, and they would take control of him and shape him into whatever they wanted him to be. And then at the end, he was sacrificed for their, I don't know what they ate his energy or, just used them in whatever way they needed. And yeah, that's the reference. So good luck to Kanye. I'm probably going to vote for him just for the hell of it. It's so funny to say. And yeah, I don't think he's crazy. I think he just is so honest that it's perplexing in a world surrounded by just complete fakeness where people just don't even want to see anything real anymore.